The oil market is on edge. That's our top story today on the Wall Report. I'm your host, Greta Wall. Oil prices are up today amid new supply concerns in the U.S. and a pipeline disruption in Russia. West Texas Intermediate crude futures are up more than 5% at about $115 per barrel. Brent crude futures, meantime, jumping more than 5.5% to $122 per barrel. And this jump comes after the American Petroleum Institute reported U.S. crude inventories fell by 4.3 million barrels for the week ending March 18th. That was an unexpected decline. The Energy Information Administration, meantime, is set to release its inventory data today. And meantime, Russia is warning of a 1 million barrel per day drop in its oil exports via the Caspian Pipeline Consortium because of damage caused by a storm. Exports along that pipeline were stopped completely today, and officials say it will take at least a month and a half to repair. Now that puts a strain on other oil suppliers in the world, even as some countries, including the U.S., have completely banned any imports of Russian oil. In the meantime, the market is continuing to hike its expectations for the Fed. CME Group's FedWatch tool shows 66.1% of traders believe the bank will hike rates by 0.5% at their next meeting in May. More than 64% also believe the Fed will implement a 0.5% rate hike at the June meeting. Now that would put rates in a range of 1.25 to 1.5% after the June 15th meeting. That's higher than the Fed's current plans for 6 more 0.25% rate hikes this year, which would put rates at 1.9% by year end. And let's take a look at the earnings news of the day. General Mills shares are up more than 2% after beating fiscal Q3 profit expectations and raising its guidance. The food company reported adjusted earnings of 84 cents per share on $4.538 billion in revenue. Now that beat analyst earnings expectations, and revenue was basically in line with estimates. General Mills also did hike its full-year guidance, now expecting sales growth of 5%. Wall Street was only expecting 3.7% growth this year. Meantime, Adobe shares are plunging nearly 10% after guidance came in weak. The company reported fiscal Q1 adjusted earnings of $3.37 per share on $4.26 billion in revenue. That was better than analyst expectations on both the top and bottom line. It also marked a new record high for quarterly revenue at Adobe and was up 9% year over year. But the company's fiscal Q2 guidance was short of analyst expectations. Adobe, though, did maintain its full-year forecast, but did say it expects a $75 million revenue reduction this year after halting sales of its products in Russia and Belarus. And the OG meme stock is rallying today after its chairman upped his stake in the company. GameStop shares surging more than 16% in today's session. Regulatory filings show Chairman Ryan Cohen bought another 100,000 shares on Tuesday. Now he now owns 9,101,000 GameStop shares, bringing his ownership stake to 11.9%. The stock purchases were made through Cohen's investment company, RC Ventures. Now taking a look at the economic data of the day, new home sales dropped for the second straight month in February. Census Bureau reporting today that new home sales fell 2% last month to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 772,000 units. That missed economist expectations for 805,000 and was down 6.2% compared to February of 2021. And the drop came despite an increase in new home listings. The number of new homes for sale jumped to 407,000 units at the end of February, representing a 6.3-month supply at the current sales pace, but prices also continued to rise. The median price of a new home sold in February jumped 10.7% year over year to $400,600, and the average sales price ballooned to $511,000. Part of the decline in sales can also likely be blamed on higher mortgage rates, which squeeze buyers as prices also rise. New data shows mortgage demand falling as those rates spike. The Mortgage Bankers Association says the average 30-year contract rate jumped to 4.5% last week from 4.27% the week before. Mortgage applications to purchase a home fell 2% weekly and tumbled 12% compared to a year ago. but refinance applications dropped 14% weekly and plunged 54% year over year. FHA and VA loans, meantime, saw the largest drop in activity, signaling that lower-income buyers are dropping out of the market. And to wrap things up here, President Biden is now headed to Europe for tomorrow's NATO summit in Brussels. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg saying today the alliance will likely agree to increase its troop presence along the eastern flank as the war in Ukraine escalates. That would include new battle groups in Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, and Slovakia. The U.S. has increased its troop presence in the region by 100,000 since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Biden is also set to visit Poland on his trip to Europe, but will not be traveling to Ukraine. So be sure you don't miss the Wall Report tomorrow for the very latest on those meetings, and give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and the notifications bell before